Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool ITT Rotary telephone, and this is Daniel's telephone from PA. And basically, what has happened here is this is a hardwired telephone, and it's in very good condition. So the handset is hardwired, and it's also hardwired into the base of the telephone. But I want to show you something here. I have this all apart. What someone has done is nipped out the back of the telephone for a modular line port. And so basically what we're going to do here is, since they left, and I'll move the cover over here, since they left a hardwired line cord in place, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this because it's broke anyway. So what happens is, when things get configured this way and the line cord, the little clip off the modular plug is broke, you'd basically expect the customer now to have to cut this off and install a new port or a new plug. So really, these cords are just a waste of time when they're hardwired into the telephone, because if you're not real careful with them and they break, then you either have to repair this or replace it. And since the body is already nipped out and ready for a modular port, there's no sense in not installing one, and that way the customer can always come back and replace the line cord anytime they want. Now these little modular ports for the line cords and handset cords are getting hard to find. They're still out there, but they're getting some age on them, and they're getting hard to find, because about 50% of the time when you're repairing a telephone like this or something close to it, a lot of times what happens is they'll need a modular line port plug, and so what really happens is they're getting hard to find. So this is one of the things that they'll usually need. And so since everybody's looking for these, they're getting harder to find. They're out there, but they're getting harder to find. Another thing I want to show you is some bearing oil. This is a special bearing oil, and what we're going to do is go through the rotary, and I've already cleaned the points on the rotary and adjusted them so that we know that our numbers are racking off properly, and that they're making, the points are making all the connections that they need to make when it's in the dialing mode. So anyway, one of the first things we can do here is we can just go ahead and remove this line plug cord. And I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick here. Just remove that. And we'll get this set up to get the modular plug on here. We'll take this plug or this wire off. We don't need it any longer. It might have worked for a while, but it's really useless to have this, since we already have the modular port nipped out of the body. And that was done before it ever got to the shop here. So somebody has already done that, and it was probably someone in the field, probably a telephone service person. We want to get our connections here back together. And we're going to we're just going to do this, and I will worry about getting the wires basically put back to where they're not going to touch the bell. We're just kind of showing in the video here what we're doing. And we'll kind of get that into place. And I'll secure all that when we finalize everything. So now that we know that that's taken care of, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and plug into it, and we want to make sure that the telephone is working. Give you some dial tone. I also want to ring it. Now we did adjust the bell. That was another thing that we've done. Let that ring one more time. Now I've already gone through the rotary, but I want to show you the rotary on these. I have the plastic cover removed, and this is really more of a dust cover so that dirt doesn't get into the braking clutch. Last thing that you'd want to do, I'm going to pull the line on this real quick. The last thing you really want to do if you've never tried working on a rotary is start going into the points. This set of points here is going to knock out the handset so you don't hear this really loud when you're dialing all the pulses and clicks and everything. And then this is for your actual points. And so I'm going to go ahead and dial it once, kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. And what this braking clutch basically does, it's in the design so that your rotary will always come back at some type of a moderate return speed. And so what you can do, though, it's not going to hurt a thing. And I've already went through and adjusted the points here and cleaned them and made sure everything was racking off properly. But what you can do is if you take some decent bearing oil, and this is an expensive bearing oil here. It's not just your average old oil. And the last thing you probably want to do is put WD-40 on this. But you can actually just give this a little shot. And then you kind of want to work it in and dial it a little bit. And it starts getting pretty smooth. I can already tell a little bit of a difference, but you want that oil to work in. And that's formulated for bearings and for shafts and things of that nature. And it just got really smooth. But you want to dial this enough times after you oil it to work that oil into where it needs to go. Now I did do some other oiling on it, but I want to hit a couple of these areas one more time. And there's a couple of spots that we can hit here. I want to make sure that's good and covered. And that's going to ensure that it stays steady. But you kind of get the idea of how all this works now. And this unit here will keep a constant basically on the return flow. And I want to work that oil in a little bit. And basically I've already went through this dial and did all this, but I wanted to give you a little look at how it worked, and just a little more oil on it's not going to hurt. But you can see this set of points here. I don't know how clear the video is, but you can see this set of points chatter back and forth. And this set of points, when the rotary is not moving, is actually open, and then we're creating a short when right in this area you can see they're already open, and then this set of points is closed for the actual pulses. Now when I go ahead and move the finger wheel, what you're going to see is this set of points closed and this set of points are still closed. But when I let go of it, these are going to be racking back and forth on the bottom here, creating your pulses. And this is going to stay closed to short out your receiver. And then at the end it opens so that you got your receive back. And you can see this clicking off because there's a cam. This set of points rides on a cam. I'll do that again. You can actually see it bouncing. And if you've never touched a rotary dial before or adjusted points, probably your most important areas that you want to stay away from is anything to do with the points in the cam and your braking clutch. The rest of it you can clean or oil, whatever you decide to do, but stay away from WD-40. It's not what you want to use. I know it's simple because it's a spray, but there's really no better thing than like a good bearing oil for these types of devices when it comes to a rotary. Okay, well, let's do some final checks now. Just kind of wanted to give you a little look at that. I also cleaned the, what we have here is you have your hook switch, and electronic cleaner will clean that. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of secure this up a little bit. And when we close this telephone up, I'm going to secure everything up. And this is just kind of for the video here real quick, just to give you some kind of ideal. This telephone is in very good condition for its age, and it's an ITT. So basically there's really no difference with an ITT at this period and a Western Electric. They're basically the same telephone. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and plug back into our line. We're going to get some dial tone. And I'm going to put this dust cover. We'll go back on the rotary when we finalize everything. So that dust cover, we want to get that back on. We'll get the oil out of the way here. And so what we're going to do is ring it. Give you some dial tone. And then we want to dial our numbers out. I'm also going to end in a 2. And then I'm going to modulate. And if you watch right here, there's a red light on the analyzer. That shows 100% modulation when I'm transmitting on modulation. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know this telephone is working. Now what I want to do is I want to move the line over into a regular telephone line. Give you some dial tone. And I'm going to call my number. And it's going to be busy. And then let's do this. Let's do a, say, a time and temp.
Good morning. Ford, drive one and you'll know at Offenburg Ford in Belleville and O'Fallon. Today is Friday, September 23rd. The time is 9:26. Current temperature 65 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area.
Partly cloudy today. A chance of showers, highs around 70. Partly cloudy tonight, a chance of showers, lows in the 40s. Partly sunny Saturday, a chance of showers, highs in the 60s.
Okay, so now let's do one other number. We'll do like, say, time and temp. Walmart.
Thank you for calling Walmart.
And then, I don't think we need anything from Walmart today, but we'll see here. They can hear us fine. Hi, can you hear me fine?
Yeah.
You sure you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, do you guys carry any rotary telephones?
Please hold.
I'm sorry? Oh, she's going to give me to electronics. Now, if they answer, I'm going to ask them. But if they're like on break, I'm just going to go ahead and end the call with them. Oh, this is electronics? How you doing? Hey, do you guys carry any ITT Rotary telephones?
No. Nope.
You don't have any kind of rotary telephones?
Oh, yeah. Regular dial phone.
Oh, okay. Who do you think I should call on that? Radio Shack? Best Buy might have some rotary telephones? Okay, well, man, thanks a lot. You take care and have a nice day. All right, bye now. Okay, well, it looks like we may have a hard time trying to find a rotary telephone. I guess you can't buy them anymore. That's why you got to get one anywhere you can get it, and then get it all fixed up and start using it, because that's what Daniel wants to do with this telephone. He wants to put it back into service, and I don't blame him. What I'm going to do after the video is I'm going to put everything back together again and secure everything, get our dust cover back on, get our cover back on, and it looks like this has been rubbed up against something a little white, and because it's got a really nice body on it. And I think what I'm going to do here real quick is you got to be very careful about the cleaners you use, but you can take certain types of cleaners, and if you're just really careful with them, you can just wipe them spots right out. And I'll probably grab a few of these spots for him to get some of that off. But as you can see, that probably cleaned it up if the video was even picking them up. That cleaned it right up. You don't want to brush on these bodies too much because they are a plastic. And I've seen guys buff these, and if they buff them at too high of an RPM on a buffer, basically what it does is just heats up the plastic and basically melts it. The best way to clean these is use, like a really soft rag, and use some kind of a novice 2 polish or some kind of a decent polish, and you just hand rub them. If you've ever seen a rail somewhere at a park or at a theme park or at one of these, where they have roller coasters and everything, or where you see a lot of doors where people touch stuff all the time, basically you can polish it out with a rag. When you touch stuff enough or rub on it enough, it's just going to naturally polish it out. So, I don't get carried away with this kind of stuff. I know there's guys out there who want to make these phones look brand new, but collectors aren't interested in them type of phones. They're interested in what looks natural and some age and some wear and tear on them. They don't care about that brand new looking stuff. And they should know they collect. So, and that's the story I hear every day talking to collectors. They don't want this stuff looking like it was brand new. They want it in a used condition. and they want it nice, but they want it in a natural used condition. So it wouldn't do any good to waste a lot of time on trying to make this phone look brand new. It looks great now. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. This is Daniel's Telephone from PA, and this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. A really nice example of an ITT Brown rotary desk telephone. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.